How's it going, everyone? Today, I'm just going to take it a little bit different, maybe take it a little bit easier than the normal videos that I do. Probably make it a bit more of a podcasty style today. The reason for that is I've been away on holiday all week in Wales, getting some staycation sun on the beach. It was nice and fun, but it meant I couldn't really get too much work done. Also, I've got a baby coming imminently. As in, I should be expecting a phone call to get to the hospital, within the next day, I think. So in the meantime, I'm just on my own recording another video and seeing if I can just get through the day. But if I have to go, I have to go. So today, I just want to keep it simple, maybe catch up with a bit of news that caught my eye this week. The big one, which I believe is going to be the headline to this video, is the Robinhood hacking scandal and how Trading 212 are responding to that. Also, there was this news about the Bank of England writing to banks about negative interest rates, seeing if they're ready. I wouldn't mind having a quick touch on that, and also how the US is going to deal with interest rates as well. I'll take you through the two-factor authentication because I'm going to do it right now on my own phone just to keep things safe. So we'll go through that and we'll figure out how easy that is to do. I'll take a little look at my portfolio and what I've been buying this week. And I want to talk about a new fun little competition that we've got going on the Discord. It's going to be interesting, and I think it's a great way for the community to have a bit of fun together. So this might be me just going back to talking shit for half an hour. But if any of that interests you, get a drink, let's go. Welcome back, everyone. My name's Paul. I've recently started investing, and I will say really not seriously until April. And now I can safely say I am fully immersed in this world. Almost completely biased towards it now. But I'm not here to convince you to start investing. I'm just documenting my journey, and maybe you can see it as an experiment to see if it's any good. I don't know what the future holds. This could blow up in my face for all I know. But I'm doing as much research and understanding as I can to really get a good grasp of exactly what I'm doing and what risks I'm taking. The first thing that I want to talk about is the news that Robinhood in America is being hacked. Now, I've done a few videos on the safety of Trading 212, more as like a single business and how strong they are, what they've got in mind for the future, what's their goal, that sort of thing. But as a whole, online investing and banking is pretty dangerous. Particularly when it's absolutely free. You think they've got to be cutting corners somewhere to make money. And in the US, you've got the #1 free brokerage called Robinhood. They're the one that's driving up the markets and making this massive bubble, all that stuff. But this week, there's been a lot of Robinhood users coming out and saying that their accounts are being broken into or money's been going missing. I feel like a bit of a fraud making this video because Andre Jick made it like 2 days ago. I was planning a video like this anyway because Trading 212 has brought out their two-factor authentication system that I want to go through today. But as a standalone, as a fintech or brokerage company, they are pretty safe. Inherently, the coding and the security is very safe. The problem, as with all things in investing, is humans. We're idiots. And it looks like, as usual, these Robinhood accounts haven't been hacked through the Robinhood system. People have just given up their passwords through phishing scams. Most people should be aware of what a phishing scam is now. It's where someone might send you a text or an email and it'll link to a site that looks like the site and it'll make you put your password in, it'll log your password, and that's it. They've got your password and email address that pertains to that site. And it's likely that you use the same password for every other website as well. So these guys just go on a field day through all of your accounts, nick a little bit of your money so you don't notice, take a few of your dick pics away, that sort of thing. But the key to this Robinhood scam is that they took that tiny bit of money and no one really noticed for a long time. And particularly if you have a lot of money and the account fluctuates all the time, you might never notice that your money's going missing. And phishing scams used to be really easy to see. Long gone are the days of Umbatu, the Nigerian prince who was offering you loads of money for your password to your bank account or something like that. Phishing scams have got pretty good now. I get hundreds every single day. And you click them and you go, shit, that really looks like Netflix or Amazon's account. I get PayPal as well. I must admit, I haven't seen any specifically for Trading 212 yet, but it's got to be coming, right? And it's as simple as that, really. These hackers have gained access to the accounts just by nicking your password. And that means there's only two ways of defeating these phishing scams. Number one is don't sign into anything you've clicked through email. If you receive an email from Google or Amazon with an excellent deal, come away from it, go to your browser, go to the website yourself, sign in there, and then go find the deal there. Trust me, if that deal is real, it'll be on their website. There's no need to go clicking through links from emails. And you might think to yourself, oh no, Paul, I'm too smart for a fucking phishing scam. It's not the point, because the evidence shows that you might know what a phishing scam is and you might be able to see them all the time. But the truth is they get most people because you're just distracted playing Candy Crush or whatever. But the second most important thing seems to be two-factor authentication. And this week, Trading212 has released their two-factor authentication system. Now, I'm very sure that this release isn't in response directly to the Robinhood thing. It's been a requested feature for quite a while on Trading212. It seems that they've only just managed to work it out and it's all come together at the right time. And if you go on the Trading212 forum, I'll leave a link in the description below for you. You can go through a very simple setup that shows you how to do it. It's very good of them. It's just a shame that they haven't released this as a notification. Trading212, just tell people, like in general, tell all of your customers that this is coming. Not just people on the community forum. Not everybody watches these videos or someone else's videos or is on the Trading212 community. A little notification would be nice. I don't know if you've sent an email out, but fucking hell, just let people know about it. And the other thing with Robinhood complaints is that there's no one on the telephone to call.
The first thing someone is going to want to do when they find out that their account has been compromised is they're going to want to reach out to the firm. And in this case with Robinhood, the big failure has been the lack of response, in that there really is no live customer support for customers of Robinhood. So if you have a Robinhood account, you can go online, you can send an email to support, you can call a phone number even, but when you call that phone number, it's just a recording pointing you back to the website where all you have is an email. And that email is not manned 24/7, apparently.
I actually get quite good responses from Trading212 via email. Any questions that I've had to ask have been responded to quite quickly, which is quite good. But I've never tried to call them or anything, and I do wonder if they've got the same problem that Robinhood has with their phone call thing. I mean, you're dealing with thousands of pounds of people's money here. I think you need a good customer service system. But I'm sure if I asked people to tell me about their experiences with Trading212's, I'm going to open up a massive can of worms here, aren't I? Please tell me about your experiences with Trading212's customer service. It's never going to be overwhelmingly positive about a company, is it? I'm ready for it. Fuck. So anyway, right now I'm going to set up Trading212 two-factor authentication on my phone right now. So what it says is you go into settings, and then you go into two-factor, and then you go into two-factor authentication. That's a really hard phrase to say, by the way. And click enable. Type in your password. Oh, I can never remember what my password is. Is it that? No. Yeah, we got there. Okay, so then it asks you to get your code from the Authenticator app. Now, this is something quite new to me, to be honest, and I imagine it's quite new to a lot of people out there using this app, because I actually only ever set up my own two-factor authentication just recently for something on the Discord. Before that, I just assumed it was something that apps did themselves. But no, most apps do it like this. And what you have to do, you actually have to download an Authenticator app, and I use Google Authenticator. And what you have to do then is you have to go to the one it's just set up for you with Trading212 and my corresponding email address there. And you can see that they've got an authentication code there, which is generated every 30 seconds. So what you have to do to log into Trading212 safely is copy this generated code that only lasts 30 seconds. It's there to add that extra layer of safety for you so some prick doesn't come along and nick all your money. Just think of it as the Trading212 version of your COVID mask. Really annoying, but will probably prevent you from some serious damage from something we don't fully understand yet. How's that? So now just to get into the app on your PC or your phone, you need to copy that verification code. And now that has activated your two-factor authentication, that extra layer of security for what is my life savings. And don't forget to write down that backup code. I'm going to do that now. And there you go. Mine is written on a tiny little piece of paper there.
It's a tiny piece of paper. Okay, that's all it is. Tiny piece of paper.
After that, you click done. So now two-factor authentication is set up on my phone. And that code that's generated every 30 seconds now has to be put in every time that you sign in with your username and password. You just have to add that code on a little bit extra. There'll be a little box there that shows you what you need to do. Next thing I wanted to talk about negative interest rates, because the Bank of England wrote to different banks to ask them if they were ready to take on negative interest rates. As I think of interest rates, I see them as the price of money. So when you put your money into a bank or into a savings account, that bank pays you for keeping your money in there. You're essentially lending the bank your money so they can go invest it somewhere else. And in return, they keep it safe, or as safe as they can, and they pay you a little bit of interest. That's the price they pay you to make money off it. And in reverse, when you take money, like you get a mortgage or something, you pay the bank interest. And the Bank of England regulates this by setting a base rate for everyone to work off. And for years, this interest base rate has been going down. It used to be ridiculously high in the 80s, when everything was going well. But for about 20 years now, at least most of my lifetime, and most of the lifetime for many people watching this video, interest rates have been very low. This means if you've got your money in pretty much any savings account or premium bonds, anything like that, you haven't been getting paid much to lend your money out to these banks. And in reverse, interest rates on mortgages and car loans, things like that, have been quite cheap. 3%, believe it or not, is a very, very cheap mortgage. And because these mortgages were so available, house prices went up. That's why we've seen the house boom. For the very same reason, businesses have boomed as well. Businesses have been able to take on more and more cheap loans and grow their companies better. So what will negative interest rates do to us as individual savers and investors? Savings wise, over the long term, pretty much anywhere you're just going to lose money. As far as I can tell anyway. I'm trying to put as little as possible into savings accounts. Martin Lewis, who is like the UK's Dave Ramsey, he's always on about reducing debt and getting good mortgages, stuff like that. Basically says just keep your money in a high interest savings account, which is probably quite safe, right? But you're probably going to lose money, surely, in the long run. For me, I think the news of negative interest rates is great for investing. And I don't know why Martin Lewis always avoids investing as an option. He never says it. He always says the best you can do is put your money in a savings account. But in my personal, humble opinion, and remember, I'm not trying to get you into investing, I'm just sharing what I think and what I'm doing. Now is the time for me to learn about the benefits of investing, really understand the risks and the rewards of what I could be doing with my money. Stuffing it into a bank and letting it sink just seems so bad to me. But I think that low or negative interest rates just boost business, boost economy, because that's what businesses thrive on. Businesses thrive on people lending so they can spend more money, and businesses thrive on borrowing cheap money and spending it to help them grow. So the markets with low or negative interest rates should only do better, right? And in the US, it's not too different, with the Federal Reserve saying that they won't be raising any rates until 2024. That's quite a long time for low interest rates to help businesses get back on their feet, people get lending, that sort of thing. I really only see that as a positive for me to put my money into investments now. Of course, no one knows, and please do not go into investing just based on me saying crap like that. This is what I'm doing with my money, and what you're seeing on YouTube right now is my experiment to see if it works. And I'm willing to risk that 15 grand that I've saved up, worked hard for in my Trading 212 account. I'm willing to risk that it will go to zero one day. Because it could. And it also could because of low interest rates. We're heading into a world we've not seen before. We don't know what the outcome is going to be. Very strong warning there. Please understand what you're getting into and don't just go around following some dividend investor or some SPAC investor or even some index investor. Learn from these people, figure it out for yourself, enjoy it, and then see if it's the right thing for you. Told you I had to go against my biases this week. There's a lot of risk out there in a minute. So let's look at my portfolio. My portfolio currently sits at 15,600. I imagine everyone had a really good start to the week. I did too, but it's had a nice drop down, as the markets will do all the time. The important thing is to not get scared of these things, I think, and just try to live your best life. I don't think I'm going to buy anything today specifically. I was thinking about doing it during this video. But by the end of the week, I can see me buying into Lennar B. That's the Class B shares of Lennar Company. There's no real difference between Lennar B and Lennar A, other than Lennar B is basically 25% cheaper for some reason. They both follow the same thing. They pay the same dividends, everything like that. One's just got better voting rights. I think it's B that's got better voting rights. So, but I'm pretty much just going with the cheapest one. Lennar is a house builder in the US. It runs mortgages as well. As I said, low interest rates, probably good for the housing market. That's where I'm kind of going with this one. Maybe one day I'll go into heavy detail on why I think this is a good buy. But the main reason is this potential 39% upside in this company. This company has huge cash flows, very undervalued at the moment. Potential there for some serious growth. And it also has a 1.48% dividend that is not constantly growing, but this company tries to grow its dividend every time its cash flow goes up. So what I do think with the Lennar Corp right now is that this company is at the start of its dividend growth journey. And I wouldn't mind being there when it starts that journey, because that's where you're going to get the best cost on the yield. As you can see, through the 2008 housing crisis, it did very poorly, and it's basically now recovering from that. Its dividend was flat for many years, but now it's starting to creep up. Now they've got a bit more cash flow going on. I've also bought Avalon Bay, which is an apartment REIT. Again, this is going to be a housing special, really, isn't it? Another REIT that I think is right on value right now, with a good future, good cash flow, that sort of thing. I've actually pre-recorded a REIT video because, you know, the baby's coming. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do for the next couple of weeks. So those videos are pre-recorded and ready for editing. And once I can get around to editing, they'll be out over the next few weeks. And I actually go into Avalon Bay quite heavily on that day. So I'll save most of the talk for Avalon Bay. What I will say about Avalon Bay is I bought it right on a resistance point. I wonder if I've got my... Oh, I have got my metrics in here. It's good. I bought it right on a resistance point. I did that on purpose. You won't believe me that I've done that on purpose. But I'm trying to learn technical analysis at the moment, so I can either prove or disprove it. And I wanted to see if I could place a bet on Avalon Bay to break a resistance where it shouldn't. And nope, it did exactly what it was supposed to do during technical analysis and went down. So now, before I buy any more Avalon Bay, I'm either going to wait for it to come down to this support line here, because I think this one is quite weak, or retrace and retest this resistance line. And if it does that, I'll buy a bit more there. I posted about this on Instagram and someone asked me to explain it. So that's the best explanation I can give to you in this really tiny portion. I'm trying to learn a lot of technical analysis myself at the moment because it's actually really fun. It's very interesting, but I don't think I'll ever make an actual decision based on it because it's supposed to be just voodoo magic, right? So yeah, Avalon Bay is one of the companies I've been buying recently. I'm also going to buy more Intel as well. Intel has a ridiculous upside from its fundamentals. It's not that bad of a company. I think the market has overly reacted to some bad news. And I'm just looking for a good entry point to double the amount of Intel that I have at the moment. Good share buyback program. Dividend is increasing. This is going to be a good company for the future, I think. And it's backed by a surprising amount of YouTubers at the moment. My only problem with Intel is it looks a lot like AT&T. AT&T has that bit of stigma to it and quite a lot of controversy. And I can see Intel having a similar amount of controversy in the near future. The similarities don't end there. They've both got a ridiculous amount of cash. They both use it really, really well. They're both increasing dividend. A lot of fundamentalists have got into Intel solely for its fundamentals, even though it's made bad acquisitions and bad management decisions, just like AT&T. So there's a lot of similarities there. It'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. And lastly, the most important news of the day is the little challenge we've got going on in the Briscord. Funny how this one came about. The mods on the Briscord, fucking brilliant lads. They were all chatting one day and they came up with the idea that They're making all these choices about their own investments and their own journeys, when really you could probably just pick a letter of the alphabet, choose a load of companies with the same letter, and you would probably do better. So they set out on a little competition between themselves just to pick a few companies with the same letter. I think they did A, B, and C. And the portfolios actually did very well. So we've decided to open this game up on the Discord as a little thing everyone can do together. It's partly for a bit of fun, partly as a little bit of a science experiment. When we were coming up with the rules of the challenge, I said I would put it out on YouTube and tell everyone about it. And I really thought I was going to have to beg people to get 26 people to come in and do each letter. Within the first half an hour, we had like 30 entrants and we'd covered all that. So we're just opening it up to everybody. Basically, what you do is you go onto the Discord group, you message one of the mods, and you give them 2 numbers, and they'll assign you a letter at random. Then what you have to do, and I'm going to do it myself right now. Bollocks, authentication code. Oh, this is going to be annoying. Copy authentication code. Go back. I'll click remember this device. There we go. I'm back in. That's going to be annoying every time. So to take part in this challenge, and you have to do this by Monday, because that's when the challenge starts. You go to your end menu and you go to switch to practice mode. And that brings you to your invest account practice mode. And then what you do is you go into settings and then you click reset account. And it will take you to here, and you want to set your account to £10,000. And then click reset account. That resets your account, and in your practice mode you then have £10,000. So one of the mods will assign you a letter at random, and your job is to make a portfolio based only around companies that start with your letter. So for example, I've been allocated the letter S, and I've gone through and I've found a lot of companies that start with S. This competition is going to last from the 19th of October to the 13th of November, right over earnings month, so we're expecting tons of volatility. So you might want to pick companies based on who's delivering good earnings. So I'm picking Sunrun. Let's go put $2,000 into Sunrun. I'm going to have to pick Square, aren't I? Let's put $5,000 into Square. Shopify is going to do pretty well as well, innit? Shopify is going to do pretty well. Let's put $2,000 into Shopify. And then we've got £1,000 left to put into SolarEdge. And then just for fun, I'm just going to create another pie and name it. I'm going to name it Suck My Balls. And there's my pie. And then I'm going to just import all of my holdings into that pie. And there we go. That's my account set up for the competition. We're going to have updates every week on this. There's 30 or 40 people all involved now, which is really cool. If you wanted to join up to it, get yourself on the Discord, have a chat with the mods. They'll sort you out. No problem. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope to see you in the Discord soon. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. The investment app that I use is called Trading 212. If you feel like getting into investing, you can sign up through a link in the description below. If you sign up through that link, you get a free share up to, I think it's like £100. Usually you get like Under Armour or something. Also, feel free to check me out on Instagram, Briscoe_investing. I post there every now and then. I'm going to post there in a minute. And again, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, subscribe, and invest. But that's going to be fun. If whoever wins gets, I don't know, gets a t-shirt or something, I'll wash it. I'll wash the t-shirt. I'm sorry I can't offer any better prize than that. I'm poor as fuck. You see all the money that I own. Suck my balls.